Thank you for joining my lecture session today. So I'm going to talk about today's polymorphism and exception. All right, move to the next slide. So what you will learn today? So basically, you will learn today two main forms of polymorphism and also the anatomy of exceptions using and handling the exceptions, and why basically we need to learn these things. So first one, polymorphism, that is increases the age of development and maintenance. This is very important. One, you want to develop any systems, then you need to maintain the age and also maintenance. And the second one is exception, improves the error management. This is also very, very important because you need to protect your system. Okay, any error comes, anything happened in your systems, how to protect your system. That's why we need to handle these exceptions as well. Next, polymorphism. Okay, the polymorphism actually coming from two words. One word, this is we call the Greek word. One is the poly. Poly means the many, and then morphs. Morphs means the form. So what is mean by polymorphism? Polymorphism means many forms. Okay, so polymorphism means many forms. And in Java, polymorphism refers to the dynamic binding. Dynamic binding mechanism that determines which method definition will be used when a method name has been overwritten. That means the method name is the same. So it will determine during the dynamic binding, that means runtime. Then it will decide which function will call. Okay, although the function name is same. All right, so we learn this one later on how it works. Then we can say thus the polymorphism refers to dynamic binding. Next, look at the dynamic binding. Sometimes we call this one late binding or runtime binding. Okay, so the method to be executed is determined at runtime, not in compile time. Okay, that's why this is dynamic binding. Okay, if you look at these classes, so the class A, look at the function name, do it. All right, and then this class B is extends from class A. That means this is the child class of class A. The class A is the parent class, and you look at here, the function name also same, right? So now comes to here public static void main string arguments A. Then we create the object, but we call the constructor from the class B. So what happened? X.doIt, once you call this one, so during the runtime, it will call the function doIt from the class definition B. Okay, I hope you understand what is actually the dynamic binding and how it can run during the runtime of this execution. Next, move to the two kinds of polymorphism. So one we call the overloading. That means two or more methods with different signatures. What is mean by signatures? Signatures mean the parameter. So they have the function with different parameters. This is called the function overloading. And function overriding is the replacing an inherited method with another having the same signature. That means the parameter must be the same. That means it can override the function. All right. In further, it is divided into, that means function overriding is divided into two. One is method overriding through the inheritance. So we'll use the inheritance to override the function, and another one is we will override the function through the Java interface. Okay. Okay, look at the example here, function overloading example. So there is a function called speak, and this is the output. Okay. So this is the cat class, and from the cat class there is speak function, correct? So this is output is new. Another function is also speak, but with one parameter. Which parameter? Parameter is the string type. So this is the output from the speak function. Another one is also speak function. The signature, we call the parameter or signature, is different. So based on the signature or parameter, once you call this function, based on the function parameter, it will give you the output. Okay, if there is no parameters, so it will give you the output neo. If this parameter is string type, you pass the value string type. So this is the my name is, so whatever you pass the name, it will display here. And the last one is the integer type value. That means if you pass the value integer type, so it will give you hello, my number is the passing value. Okay, I hope you understand what is function overloading is working. Next, more examples of function overloading. Okay, so here a Java program written to demonstrate compile time. This is compile time polymorphism using overloaded methods. Okay, the class name is overloaded, and if you look at the function here, okay, we create the object here obj, so demo from the demo class, and then call the demo class constructor, and then new constructor demo class. Right now we system out print line object dot. Look at here, the parameter signature. The parameter is passing two values. And what type of value? Integer type value. So immediately it will call this function add, and it will check the signature, integer x and y, then return the value. Okay. The next one, if you look at the next one, this is three parameters. Okay, integer, integer, integer. So it will look at the parameters of signature, and it will call this function add function and return the value. Then the last one, look at here, we call the function add function. This is the double type value, and then one integer type value. So it will look at the signature, what is the value they are passing, double pi, that is double type value, the pi value, and then integer x. So it will return the value. Okay, so I hope it's better understanding is what is the function overloading is working. Next, okay, another function is another examples for function overloading. But here, if you look at here, the speak, no parameters, speak with one parameter, but next one is speak with the same parameter. It cannot be same. In the function overloading, the condition is the signature or parameter cannot be same. Then you will get the error method. Error, you will get the error from this function. Next, okay, we can use function overloading. That means the function name will be same, the signature or parameter will be different. Okay, the add function, return value is integer, return value is float. Okay, so you can add different you know, the signature or parameter you pass, and we get the return value, but although the function name is same. Okay, now we can also use the method without overloading. So how you can use this one? In that case, each of the function name you can define as differently. For example, add integer, function name is not same, and we pass the parameter integer parameter. Similarly, the function is the add float. So this is return value will be float, and we pass two parameters, float type parameter. Okay, so it can give you the output as float type value. Okay, and last one is the double, return value is double, add double, function name is different. So you can pass the parameter double type parameters, and it will give you the output from this double type parameter. So you know already. So what is the function overloading? And without also you can create the function that is different name, and we can get the different output from them. All right, so I hope you understand the concept of function overloading and also the method without function overloading. Next, okay, now constructor overloading. Okay, so what is constructor? So you know the constructor is the function name that is same name with the class name. We call this is constructor, right? So here, so in the multiple constructor, in that case, this is different number and types of parameter. That means here we can use the constructor, but passing parameter will be different. Okay. Look at the first example here. The class name is text field. Okay, we create the object, and then we create the constructor, we pass one parameter. Correct? So integer type parameter. Second one is the same class text field, and we create the object and we pass the constructor. This is string type parameter. Okay, you understand, right? The constructor overloading. Similarly, the color class, we create the object and then constructor here. How many parameters we pass here? 3 parameters. Okay. Then the color, this is the constructor we create here, is 1 parameter pass. Okay, so signature is different, but function name is same. And the last one is the checkbox. This is the class checkbox, and then we create the constructor here. We pass the 1 parameter. What type of parameter? String type parameter. And the last one is we create the constructor, and then we pass 2 parameters. Okay, one is the string type, one is the Boolean type, true or false, 2 parameters. Okay, I hope we understand what is meant by constructor overloading. Next. Okay, now more example on constructor overloading. So there is a class called the test class. You see the function name is test. So this is without passing parameter, this is the output. And then another function name is also test. Okay, this is the constructor is test, and for a passing parameter is integer parameter, so it will display this output. And then the last one is we have constructor with passing 2 parameters, integer type parameter, then it will display this is the output, right? So now once we create the object, remember the object will follow the actually passing parameters, right? So the once you create the object, for example, test MCO. So once you create the object, it will call the constructor. Which constructor it will call? Based on the matching of the signature. So this is without passing parameters. So it will run this constructor. So it will give the output inside default constructor. Okay. The next one, we create the object and then we pass 1 parameter here. So it will match the signature. Which parameter? 1 integer parameter. So it will come here and then it will display this output. Okay. The last one is, you look at here, we create the object and we pass 2 parameters, integer type parameter. So it will match the parameter of the constructor, integer type parameter, and it will display this output. Okay, so I hope you understand the examples given here, constructor overloading and how it works. Okay.